Hey, you alright? Okay. Hey, you're watching Talk, and we're here with Mika. Hey, nice to have you here. Uh, what do you expect from tonight's show here in Lucerne? Are you gonna play also new material already?
I'm gonna play some new songs tonight, and I'm in a festival run, so I've been doing you know various sized shows, and the one thing, even if it's like we've done from 40,000 to 5,000, and the one thing that they all have in common is that they're all outdoors. So I walked into soundcheck today, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is indoors. This is totally different." So I had to get used to it, and it's very different playing indoors. You're allowed to do different things when you're indoors. You're allowed to go really small and do tiny little things with small details and have it, and then go crazy 30 seconds later. If you do that outside, people get kind of distracted. They can't hear properly. There's different lights. There's bugs on your face. So it's different. It's cool. But I'm gonna try new songs. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna sing all types of material from my last two albums as well. But I'm looking forward to it.
Actually, you're playing the hall. You get in, and there is like the co-checker, and then there is the hall.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not too keen on that actually. I don't like the idea that you walk in, like I can see the exit from when I'm on stage. It's very, I don't know how that's going to be. I guess I'll only know once I walk on stage, but like there's not even a curtain. Like I can see people at a bar outside, like, and they can't even hear the show. If if they put speakers on and everyone could hear the show outside, then people could at least listen if they want to. But I see them and they can't even hear me, so it's kind of unfair.
So you're gonna say like, where the hell you think you going when there's someone going out?
And no, no, because that would make me a dick.
So you tell us a little bit more about the album, which is coming out in September. You did some collaboration with Pharrell, for example.
Yeah, I mean, I made this record kind of on. I mean, I packed a suitcase and I went, and I didn't really come home until I had written the whole album. And it's like a personal diary over 10 or 12 months. And I worked with people who inspired me, and accidents happened, like Pharrell. Like we weren't supposed to work together, and then we did, and we wrote something great. And so there's him. There's a guy called Nick Littlemore from a band Empire of the Sun who worked with me on the record. And there's people that I found on the internet who've never done anything before who worked on the record. And so there's this whole thing, and I guess you still hear that it's me, right? And you still hear me in the choruses and in the melodies, but at the same time, I approached the record with the attitude that I had to do this as if it was very much the first time, like I'd never done anything before. And I think that's so important. I think every 5 years or something, you have to just say, I'm going to do something as if it's the first time, with no rules.
Is there? You had with your first album, you had like this mega hit. Is this sometimes a little a curse for you now when you work on new stuff?
Well, when you have it can be for some artists. I think that the kind of music that I make is so kind of eccentric innately, whether it's a hit or whether it's just an album track, that it kind of puts me in my own kind of bubble. And I think that inevitably protects me at the same time, you know. So I'm lucky enough that I don't make music that sounds like a time or a style or a sound. I sound just kind of like, I don't know, a bit weird all the time. So that helps. And nothing. How could music that gets around be anything but a good thing? You know, when you can turn around and play venues all over the world, and you know that's only because of the fact that you can get your music on radio, or it travels, or that some of it does really well. It's a blessing. It can't be anything else.
But for you, it's okay because you say this is my thing, and you said I want to do it like it's the first time. But you have a A&R guy, you have a management, you have a label, you have radio stations, and they say, "Oh, what's that?" How do you cope with these reactions sometimes?
I guess if I was making music to do promo, and to do interviews, I'd probably be the most miserable artist in the world, because then I'd have to be having internal conversations like the one we're having now. but because I make music, because it's what I've done since I was 7, and because it makes me feel good or alive or like I have value, then I'm fine.
What current artist you look at and you say, "Wow, I should have done that," or "Wow, this is something I really dig."
I am totally into I like this new girl called Jessie Ware. She's amazing. I listen to a lot of pop music from the 70s, like Fleetwood Mac or the Bee Gees or all the Laurel Canyon stuff. So I still listen to older records, you know. I like Beck a lot. I listen to everything from that girl Birdie to Kanye West's last album, which is this kind of incredible tapestry of sounds. My music tastes are always very eclectic. I mean, almost like I'm the worst person in the world to have playing at a party like my iPod, because I sound like, one minute I'll be like, oh, listen to this, it's from Indonesia, it sounds amazing, and then I'll be like, and here's Labyrinth. And it's like, what? It goes around the world pretty fast. So yeah, it's kind of, it's eclectic, but I think that's good, you know. I'm sitting in my dressing room here, and I've got a big poster outside of Cesaria Evora, and she's this singer who died last year, and she was one of my kind of favorite vocalists ever. So it's everything.
What's about Latin America? Do you also get inspiration from there, for example?
A lot. I mean, one of my favorite recording artists ever is a Brazilian artist called Milton Nascimento, and he's a genius. I get a lot of inspiration. I mean, I started making my demos, and I still record to this day, but the first time I ever made demos for my first record was in Miami. And so I got exposed to all this kind of like, you know, all these people making records there. At the time it was like Alejandro Sanz and, you know, that just all these kind of like crazy bands, amazing pop bands making this rhythmic music with like horns and instruments and all these sounds. Like, I think it's really cool. There's a lot of varied things happening in South America.
Can you imagine, like, for example,
You know, not that many people know. Like, if you're looking at a real pop example, that last Shakira record that she did all in Spanish, it's just like, it's one of the best pop albums she's ever made, and it's all in Spanish. And for some reason, it connected in France massively. But if you ask you know, a normal person in the UK or in America, like, have you heard the Spanish record? They'd be like, no. And it's just like sizzling. It's great.
that was actually my question. Can you imagine to record in Spanish someday?
You know what? I could actually. I totally could, because I speak Spanish. So, but I speak with a Spanish accent, not the South American accent. So everything I say is, you know, all my C's are th. So,
which makes it easier, right?
which makes it much harder.
Okay. Well, we're looking forward to the album and also to the show. And
Right.
I will take track if you really don't blame someone when he goes out. It was nice to have you here. Thank you very much, Mika.
Thank you.
That was Mika, and we'll be back with more. See ya.